The other thing that was a real aha for us was these behaviors that are blamed for 80% of our health costs. Again, remember, root cause, human nature. So what do you think the key behaviors are to cope with stress? Why do they call it comfort food? Root cause, human nature. Now, what really opened our eyes to this is the research being done on trauma, post-traumatic stress, and kids that experience trauma and secondary trauma. And what they find is that these behaviors are the body's solution to deal with stress and trauma. So all the programs you have to try to get at the behavior, unless it's getting at the root, chronic stress or some form of trauma that has never been worked through, you're fighting against what the body wants to do naturally. This blew our minds. Took us in a whole new direction. So the 95% solution. We used the domino nudge theory. And there's a great video on YouTube that I would recommend you see. The power of lining up the different interventions, but starting with the easiest one first, and then lining it up so that at the end you've got culture and you flip the leadership. The reason we didn't put leadership first is that's the hardest one to get and to keep consistent. Where you have good leadership, it's great. But too often what happens is you create a sandcastle. That when that leader goes or the economy dips, everything gets washed away and you're back to ground zero. So we wanted to create a solution that even if you're not in a position of leadership and authority, you could still transform your organization through lots of nudges. And we saw earlier today the power of these micro interventions. That's the same thing as a nudge.